This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For June 27, 2025, it's the best-sounding podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, episode number 117. That's a lot.
That's a random number.
That's a good number.
No, it's this number. Broadcasting live from coast to coast, through forests, plains, barbecue smoke, rolling hills, and red clay roads, this podcast spans the nation one AV hot take at a time. Or something like that. I'm Chris Dector, your host, and the only one actually pushing buttons around here. And it's time for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure.
Push your buttons.
And let's say hello to today's panel of AV SuperFriends with this button. You did push a button. Actually, you clicked it.
I only have to push 3. Come on.
Let's do this one.
I didn't push that one.
So we're joined by a Director of Equipment Thermal Optimization from Kansas City, Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
Oh, buddy. I'm learning all about fans and heat dissipation.
Jamie's HVAC died this week.
Yes.
BTUs. What's your low in the middle of that?
I'm learning all about how air conditioners work.
Also joined by a Chief Cable Untangler in the Outdoor Events Division, who's coming to you from an RV in rural Pennsylvania, Mark Kolowazinski.
Yes. One tangled knot of cables is my life story. I'm spending my entire life untangling that ball of cables. I don't think I'll ever be done.
Also joined by the Manager of Seasonal Digital Signage Sun Glare Mitigation from Greensboro, North Carolina, Mr. Larry Darling.
I'm just walking around campus lowering shades at this point. And putting up shades when I need to.
And finally, we're joined by our Vice President for Outdoor Temporary Cable Pathways and Event Sunburns from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Mr. Justin Rexing.
It sounds like I'm walking around with a shovel and some lotion, but somehow that's not weird.
Shovel, lotion, and a bunch of guard dog. Just like
I'm curious about the shovel. What's the shovel?
Does that have anything to do with that missing
cable
person?
Pathways. They're temporary, so you got
Don't have
to
to
put them in the
bury
ground,
them,
and
You're just trenching stuff?
Just trenching by hand.
randomly.
Yeah.
Just calling before you
extension
dig.
cords to the lawn.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's easement. Don't worry about it. Just
You need some lotion?
Just trenching.
Yeah. Right.
Some lotion. On today's show, we're going to discuss why you should have been at InfoComm if you weren't. And we're going to talk about equipment sustainability and forced obsolescence. But first, let's do some housekeeping. So if you're listening to this as a recorded MP3, we do stream live on Fridays at about 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, or whenever we get our act together. You can join us live for that on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. If you can't join us live, we still want you to connect with us on those same socials. So please follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blue Sky, all those fun places to keep up with whatever we're doing at the time. Please don't forget to spread the word. If you could share this podcast with your friends, colleagues, enemies, perfect strangers, and anyone else who might enjoy it, that would be fantastic. If you could go around and find kids who are playing in a kiddie pool and go accost their parents because they're probably wasting electricity, water, or some sort, and do not leave the property until they sign up for the podcast, that would be fantastic. Please go.
And then offer them more lotion.
Yeah, they have their cell phone hooked up to their little Bluetooth. Just ask them what the Bluetooth is. The county pool, and just play our show for them. So be nice.
This lotion thing's going to be a bad idea.
I didn't start it. That was you.
I didn't mention lotion. I said sunburns. You went right to lotions.
You did.
If you'd like to support our show, please consider donating. Your contributions help to keep us bring you the honest content that you love or that you love to hate. You can find the donation link in the show notes of this episode or on our website. We do want to hear from you, so if there's a topic you'd like us to cover, you can please send us an email or you can comment on social media. If you want to hit us up via email, mailbag at AV SuperFriends. In fact, we have a topic today, which is a listener suggestion. So it does happen.
Whole segment
Works.
we never think about.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And finally, while you're listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever the heck you are, the local public pools,
If you're at the
Bluetooth
pool
system,
listening to somebody's phone and it's playing our podcast, thank you.
yeah,
Putting
go
on
rate and
suntan
review
lotion.
us. Leave us at least a 3.5 stars. Maybe like 3
What's
and
with all the
3/4.
pools?
The way with this show's going, 1 would be fine. Just 1 star. That means you did something.
You don't have to do any stars. Just say, hey, we downloaded it.
This is
The
This is
higher
not
you
gonna
rank us,
be-
the more people who are forced to listen to us because we get pushed up in their little suggested suggested list.
This is
So-
not going to be a good
Allegedly.
show.
Yeah.
All
I can
right.
already
So
tell.
thanks for your support. We could not do this without you. And now Oops. I'm going to debut a brand new commercial because that's what I want to do.
Have we heard this? Have we audited this? Do we know?
We did a few minutes ago, and it got a
that was that one?
Okay. I don't know. So
You were busy trenching.
Yeah, you're out.
you were digging trenches and rubbing lotion on people.
I had stuff to do.
All right. Jamie, give me a slate, and we'll run this one.
Oh, boy.
This one.
In a world where signals drop, channels clash, and line levels lie, one device dares to bring order to the chaos. Introducing the Audio Holster. Whether it's balanced or unbalanced, stereo or mono, analog or digital, the Audio Holster handles it, all of it. No adapters, no converters. You don't choose the Audio Holster, it finds you. Strap it to your belt, clip it to your rig, wear it with pride or fear. Because once it's on, you'll hear things. The Audio Holster. It's everything, everywhere. All the audio you'll ever need. Holstered. Audio Holster. You'll never not need it. By Independent Amalgamated.
Do you have
we
your
have a
audio holster
picture?
with you right now?
Do we have a picture of one of these? Like, what is...
Looks like
It's
this.
in the notes, man.
What the hell is it?
That's just the chassis for it, though. The secret's in the software.
Yeah. It's all cloud-based.
A little off topic here, but I feel
cloud-based
heard. I feel heard because all of a sudden I just got an email for the product of the day was an assortment of home lotions. I shit you not. It just came in.
Hey.
You know, it says, can we, like
Hey.
Amazon, can we
Hey.
interest you in these products? And I shit you, I just,
Someone is listening to our show.
I'm like, oh my God. You gotta be kidding me.
Jeff Bezos, apparently.
Yeah, it's
He's busy. He's like
Getting married, yeah.
and doing some kind of wedding thing or something.
Sorry. Just, wow,
Okay.
this is
Anyway.
topical.
All right, well, and now
Terrible
that you've
show.
waited all week for it, let's do the news.
Let's do this.
Today's article comes from AV Interactive, or AV Magazine. I guess it's AV Magazine, but their website is AV Interactive. And the title is German State Minister Declares We're Done with Teams. So basically,
you, bro.
Germany is sick and tired. Now, keep in mind, to play devil's advocate a little bit, this is brought to you by the same people who did the GDPR or whatever nonsense, and now you have to click accept or
yes.
decline cookies on every freaking website, which does nobody any good because now you get so blind to that, you just click whatever, so God only knows how many cookies are on your computer.
Yeah, it's like a EULA. Just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to read that. Thanks a lot, EU. So, all right. So this one comes specifically about Germany, and it says Dirk Schroeder, the digitalization minister. There's a title for
That
you.
sounds like a digital.
In the northern
better.
state of Schleswig-Holstein, says 60,000 civil servants, police officers, judges, and teachers are set to switch to open source software. So not only Teams, but they're going to toss all their Microsoft licensing stuff too. I think due to rising costs, poor experiences with it, and general pain in the assness.
Ja, das ist sehr gut.
And the fact that some other company in this world has access to all of their
Yeah.
stuff and can hold it hostage at any moment.
Well, that's the whole thing
Or
with
use it
Microsoft
whatever.
ecosystem. Like once you're in there, you kind of want everything to be there, and then like you get to a point where you're too big to fail, and then you're also like a big target to exploit, right? And so once somebody's in there in your Azure environment or your Fabric or whatever it is, once you're there, like the world's your oyster, you can do whatever you want. So I'm not surprised to see an entire government say, you know what, maybe we don't want to do that and put all our stuff in there and go away. And like, I don't know if it's any better going to an open source.
That's
But-
the part that threw me, the open source aspect of it. Like
That's
a
a lot to man. That's a lot of overhead. That's a lot to keep up and keep it up with everything.
But I mean, I'm not surprised at this day and age. Like, you know, we're not going to go with some American company and put all our data in there and kind of
Yeah,
sit there
there
and
is
fester.
that
Like,
too.
no, we're not going to do that. Especially European. Like, come on now. It's Microsoft. What could go wrong? It's Microsoft.
I think a lot of it comes down to cost. And we've seen that recently where a lot of us who have, let's say, for example, we have Zoom. A lot of us have Zoom. But there's this big push to roll to Teams because Teams is free for
it's
now.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing.
Even if there is zero initial cost on it, it will cost you down the road. But also, it will after 2 or 3 years, that's license is going to show up on your bill. And now that to your point, Mark, now that you've got all your stuff in there, oh, you
hard
want
to
all
get
those
out of
Teams
that.
things going? Then
It's a lot new.
for that
Well,
license.
Teams is still free, but Microsoft Word went up by 400%.
Tell you what, Teams no
$1,000.
charge. Word $1,000. Yeah. So I would say look for more of this, but this happens in Europe every now and then. It seems to be a cyclical thing where they go through and they get rid of one software thing to go open source, and they find out how much it actually costs to do that. Or yes, it's free, but you still have to have sysadmins and all sorts of people there to run all that stuff. That's not.
It's
free.
a business cycle. You see it everywhere,
Yeah.
not just in like countries and in Europe and things like that. Once it gets so bloated and so expensive, it's look at your cell phone bill, your cable bill, right? You're like, oh, you signed up for that free for 1 year. It's going to be this, and then afterwards, you're like, shit, this thing went up $700. Why am I paying $700 for my cable bill? It's like, well, you got to basically cancel that so you can get that new membership and get that new cell phone again, right? So that's what Germany does. They're waiting to get their new cell phone. We'll re-sign back up Microsoft.
That's really expensive.
But
that
little
is
do they
Oregon
know,
pricing, but
Microsoft took their cancellation notice procedures from all the gyms in the world where you have to walk.
Yes, they have to go in and like sign. Yeah,
Sure, you can
with a
cancel.
lawyer.
Just fill out this
30 days
form in
notice.
Redmond.
yeah, exactly.
and you can't arrive by any other means than walking with Nike shoes because they're down
Tuesdays.
the street.
So there is a note here that says they're also going to shift their data storage from presumably from Azure Cloud or 365 or whatever to a cloud system not controlled by Microsoft, as the region wants to rely on a publicly owned German digital infrastructure. How long until that little cloud service gets purchased by Microsoft?
I was going to say, are they running on Windows servers?
Amazon.
Yeah, it's Amazon or Microsoft. Pick one. You're not,
It'll be
Or
AWS.
Yeah, it could be on Facebook's stuff. So anyway, just interesting. I suspect we will see more of this sort of thing from different organizations, different regions, different government entities. We may even see it in our neck of the woods in universities, looking at a way to shed some cost. And then 3 to 5 years later, they're right back there doing that again. So
yeah, I mean, with all the AI proliferation and everything like that, like where your data is, how it's accessed, and how the cloud compute can see it or not see it, and what it means. Like you're going to see this stuff like weekly. You're going to see all these wholesale database migrations, and so not surprised you see it at the international kind of like country level, but we're going to see it take all shapes and forms. So,
Sounds fun.
So there you go.
Fantastic.
This is happening to you too. So soon your new senior director of enterprise architecture or your CIO will tell you,
Open
we're
source.
migrating to this, and it's going to be 30 days. It'll be fine. We've already tested.
Like, oh my god.
but how many of you have been a part of one like we're migrating to this? And you moved all your stuff, but you still have the old thing 2 or 3 years later. Now
you got to
got
support both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
That works out real well.
The cloud service. We're going to get rid of
how much
Box.
of
Great. Everybody go to OneDrive.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Google, Box,
We're not
Microsoft,
really
yeah,
going
all
to get
of it.
id of Box.
Yeah.
So where's all my stuff?
I need my cloud RAID
everywhere.
drive. That,
So
like,
Jamie, to that
strips them
point,
all
even
together.
within the Microsoft ecosystem, how many have OneDrive? And then you've got SharePoint on-premise.
Yeah.
And then you
I have no
it-
idea.
Wait. Then you still have the old goofball, warehouse shared drive that somebody created 27 years ago and is still floating around out there.
You have to have
I'll be
mapped-
honest.
You have
We have all that.
The-
And
yeah,
whenever I
the
click on
manually mapped drives.
Yeah, when I click on files that are not on my computer, I have no idea what actual application I'm accessing. Is this
my
OneDrive?
computer.
Is this?
Keep running shit on my computer. Stop.
Here's the
it's
key.
the other laptop.
If you have to multi-factor in order to view it, it's not on your computer.
Correct. I don't.
Because I'm getting real tired
Yes.
of that too.
Well-
Here, look at this thing. I had a multi-factor to look at a spreadsheet that I created.
Can't you just check that box says for next 60 days at least?
No.
You don't
that
have
sounds
that.
like a huge security hole.
We have that.
Well, no, I
some
have it.
things.
But it never works.
It's the cloud.
It does. It says don't check in for 30 days or whatever, or continue.
Is
And
this
every
your
time,
computer?
because I switch computers all the time,
Well,
so every time I move, I get a new computer.
Well, that's why
Justin,
it doesn't work.
you don't get
Jamie.
to talk about computers because you have 2 computers with you right now, neither
have
of which
4.
you own or manage.
No, my new one is the one I'm using. Yeah, big surprise. Look at that. And guess what?
And it's the only one that works.
And it's working. My audio sounds. It's not. Hey, what'd you change? No, I
It
didn't
is
change
better.
shit. It's everything is.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Advantage to owning your own computers. Funny how that works.
know.
All right. Let's roll out. We'll run another quick message
We're
from a
over. We're
sponsor,
done.
and then,
Oh,
No,
here we go.
yes, dude.
and then we're going to come back
was
and
quick.
talk about InfoComm stuff because That's what we're doing. The AV SuperFriends are sponsored by Computer Comforts Incorporated. CCI has been building tech furniture for the education market since 1987. Instructor lecterns, computer lab tables, collaborative tables, and active learning clusters are just a few of the many innovative products made by CCI. Speaking of lecterns, Computer Comforts has just released Evolve. If you're looking to future-proof your classroom, Evolve is the Swiss Army knife of lecterns. Seriously, this flexible lectern does it all. Not only is Evolve sit-to-stand and ADA compliant, it's also packed with tech-friendly features. And the best part, it ships fully assembled and ready for action. Check out the 90-second video to see all the options. Visit computercomforts.com/evolve.
Swiss Army knife. Like you're going to pinch your finger in there somewhere.
They were giving away Swiss Army knives as swag, and then realized that was probably not a great idea because everyone has to get back on
plane
airplanes.
does a whole bucket.
But it was hilarious. Like seeing people take them and just stare at them.
They're like,
For a
Awesome.
moment, like,
Wait.
ooh, this is cool. Oh shit! How am I going to get back in?
that quickly came into everyone, and even they sat there and went, "Oh."
Well, to be fair, I think most of their they go to regional shows where people drive in, so it's easier to hand those out. But
And I didn't pick one up. Did you pick one up?
I wanted to,
I
but didn't.
put one in many people's bags.
People are still being held at the airport.
Yeah, he was just standing in line, slipping it in their jacket pocket.
All right, let's see what are we doing here. Oh,
Where are we
You
at?
guys
selling Mark
were
the world.
looking for stuff
hold on.
for me.
It's time for topic one.
Oh yes.
Talk. Hot takes. Topic 1 starts now.
We have
Because that annoys the crap out of you guys, so I keep doing
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's
All right,
one
so-
for everything now.
Why not? I get so many buttons.
I got buttons that got nothing to do. So let's
Mark,
just give them
this
something.
was your suggestion because Mark was not at InfoComm, and Mark said, "Okay, I'm not going to be there, so let's talk about afterwards. Tell me why I should have been. What's the thing I missed? What's the thing I need to buy? What was that?
What is
What's
the thing that for me? What did I miss?
What would have been the big item for Mark? And we all have an item or items that are going to be kind of like, this is why you should have been there. You would have really liked this thing, this service, this whatever. So
Could be widget, service.
I'll start. Mine
anything.
is Crestron Cloud IO. No, okay.
All right.
No one wants that.
Next.
Mark wants that probably.
I want cloud stuff to be. I just want it to be better.
But it has to be cloud.
Good news is everybody had cloud,
Yeah. So you can probably
and
find
none
better.
of it was better.
Not everybody.
So yeah, who wants to start on this one?
Nobody.
Jamie, there's
Nobody
nothing
wants
on
to
your
start.
list. Justin, do you have a
Let's
segment
do
for
it.
Justin?
I'll do it.
Okay, Jamie, what's
Oh,
on your
got
list?
it. I got you.
Okay.
I got
I got a truckload of money. I'm spending it today. What are we getting? What did you find for me, Jamie?
There it is.
Silence.
Well, I was
What am I looking
underwhelmed with most things. So I did find two things that I thought. I did find two things.
Okay.
One of them I cannot speak too intelligently on, but I will bring it up, is the NetSpeak AI module that they were talking about. I stopped by the booth to talk to them like 4 times, and every time he had 3 or 4 people waiting in line to talk to him.
I heard you guys mention this on one of your morning shows.
I thought you meant that you
what is
talked to
this
him 3 or 4
thing?
times, and every time you got more confused.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna read this
I was completely prepared to be confused and baffled and but they were using locally built LLMs and then tying it into your service thing, and anyway, a glorified chatbot service. That's look, this is my dumbed down version. It is probably way better than that, but I know you would have stood in line to actually talk to them. I went by there 3 or 4 times. And so, yes, I found something that you definitely would have taken the time to stand
where
there
does
and
it
talk
sit?
to them.
What does it do for me?
We don't
It
know.
answers all your
know.
questions.
Mark, what doesn't it do?
Well,
You're asking
there's
the wrong
yes,
question.
I'm in.
So
Let's go.
you populate it with all of your own.
So it's a local LLM service.
Almost, yes, but it will also parse data, like share data from manuals and things. So you can basically create your own troubleshooting thing, and you type in, "How do I fix this?" or "What's 4 lights on the projector mean?" It means call support.
I may have
235.
seen
Right.
something like this in another product somewhere else already. in the
Well,
last couple of
it
weeks.
possibly is, and they possibly have some cross promotion. Again, they were It was one of those little bitty, like 7x7 booths.
But they were hopping?
And it was one person there. And I
It
stopped
should have just been the LLM. There should have been nobody
I was
there.
like, why
That
can't
would've been sweet.
And everybody that talked to him was
kiosk.
super nerd.
Yeah, why can't the application answer your questions, Jamie?
Well-
like walk up to it and
Probably
just
could.
I couldn't even get that far into the booth. There was 3 or 4 people there, and everybody had like a 30-minute conversation. I'm like, holy crap. But I really think that's what you would have gone and seen, and probably back to the...
I'd still be in line for it. Is that what you're telling me?
You
I'd still
would
be
have
waiting
waited.
there.
I couldn't do it anymore. ADD kicked in, and I was off.
Okay.
So, but I do think that the NetSpeak... Now, things that I actually talked to that I think would... it's a widget, though. You don't like widgets now.
Sometimes you
But
need to know
Visionary
where
did have... They added USB-C to all of... To
But they added it, like,
several products.
the big
Like
one.
legit USB-C.
That's legit.
So they have a new transmitter box.
It's
help me
actually
out, guys.
a receiver.
I did a perspectives on it,
XB5, whatever that thing.
Yeah.
You did perspectives on it that published today.
Today.
People can go
That published today. I did a
And
perspective.
I asked about it. And you
Everyone
guys
on
were like,
the
go listen to the show. I
Stop
was like,
listening to the stream and go listen to that, then come back.
And then come back.
We'll be gone.
Because I did. It was a great perspectives. I mean, Mark, you should have already listened to it twice.
yes.
Yeah, what the hell?
But I think it fits into some of your thoughts of, okay, it's AV over IP. So if I have to use a spigot and a tube, it's AV over IP, and it has one connector. Well, 2.
It's like that, the new bridge.
Bridge.
I saw the announcement for this device, and I think I shot it out to you guys like, guys, you have to go see what the hell's going on here. But it didn't, like, I saw the announcement, and it didn't come from Visionary. It was like somebody else.
It's somebody else, and they still don't have it on their website. And things I found interesting is that it is an I/O. USB-C with power, with data, it's got the whole gamut, and you can mix and match. So if you want to send it a Dante stream from some other thing, it turns that into its, captured the audio
You're getting
USB.
all of it, which is
If you want to
remarkable.
grab webcams, if you want to, whatever it is, then you get to do that, and it spits out 2 streams of video. Now, I could be wrong. Look, this was remembrance of my conversations with them. They also have wall plates. So they have put USB-C on their decoders as well. So now you can not only get normal HDMI video to a display, but it also had I/O USB-C. Yeah. So you can now put something on the end point as well and get them to matrix in. None of this is on the website. I haven't seen the actual manual. But the products there, I think, in your world of moving to, bring your, spigots and tubes are not a thing, but they kind of still have to be.
Yeah, there's going to be a world where you have to do some kind of bridge somewhere.
Whether
it's your computer or somebody else's, you still need that bridge.
Now, the little transmission bridge, it is a little pricey, but it is essentially a USB-C dock, and it converts it straight to AV over IP. And you can do whatever you want with it at that point, pipe it wherever you want to go. So I thought that was really interesting. And I thought that was something that you might be, it's like, okay, finally, we're seeing USB-C used. If you use an external power supply, you can even power your laptops or your device. Otherwise, it's PoE only. But those 2 things that were screaming Mark. And I'm sorry I didn't get to go talk to the AI guys, because you would have waited for them, but I am not you.
What?
And I moved on.
Okay. So I'm going to pay for some service. And there's a box.
Jamie's auditioning for a sales job at Visionary.
Oh, yeah.
How was the Visionary?
Hi.
Did you guys stop by there?
We did.
We did an
Several
interview.
times.
We're supposed to tell Mark what we thought he would enjoy, and I think he'd enjoy that.
Well, I was going to do the same thing. Like, I went
What?
singing as if I was Mark.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Failed miserably. Like, there's no cool cloud stuff that I like, no software. And so I've said, screw it. I'm going to sell you on what I thought was cool.
Now, Larry,
So-
when you and I went to several places and talked cloud with people, and we were
did.
asking Mark kind of questions.
We tried, and it was not a
Proud of
good
you guys.
experience.
No, and like I don't even know what kind of question I'm asking, but this sounds like it would come out of Mark's mouth.
Yeah.
And they all, what the BIAM guy basically
At any point,
dismissed
did you
us.
Did you use the phrase "big data story"?
Yes.
Over and
Okay.
over again.
See?
That was
Yes,
our
good.
lead.
I got you guys trained.
And Larry and I were standing there talking to one of the developers, and we're like, "So does it do this thing?" And he's like, "You two need to leave."
Yeah, and so we left.
You tell me I would have gotten kicked out of
It's like, I'm tired of asking your questions. I'm like, oh, okay. But so I'm with, Larry and I, we tried, and we were together and asking Mark questions and failed miserably. Sorry, Larry. I just want to make sure I was on your side.
We are in complete agreement here. So at least you tried to like figure out, okay, what would Mark be interested in? I'm not that worried about it, so screw it. I decided that I went there looking for Oracast, and Mark needs to buy more boxes for his campus. Every room needs more boxes. That's just what he needs. And so at first I was going to like sell you on Williams Sound or Williams AV. They had a decent solution, but at the very last part of the show, as we were going on stage for the Avixa TV thing, Jamie asked me, have you checked out Bettear? Bettear. I did not even know they were there or what they were doing. Checked them out afterwards.
Clever name.
It's a name. But
I had to explain it to him like several, like, dude, no, it's Bettear, like Bettear, and he's like, I don't.
Yeah, do they pronounce it Bettear, better? What are they? What's their?
Bettear is how.
Are they French?
I forget
like Bettier?
No, it's not Bettier.
But it was Oracast.
Anyway,
it was Oracast.
Yes,
it is Oracast. But it's more of an Oracast whole ecosystem. Like Williams AV is basically like, this is listening assist. As products are developed, like it will work with your cell phones, with your hearing aids. Like they're in that market.
I know what it is. Better ear.
No,
better ear.
Okay.
Yes,
I just figured it out.
Nice.
Yes, that's what it's supposed.
I'm so smart,
Larry,
guys.
what? Tell me more.
Okay.
It's an ecosystem.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. Wait, so are they selling a bunch of little widgets here?
Well, they have the big widget, the transmitter. That's the same as everybody else. It's like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. But then there's two other parts that can go with it. The receivers, which, everybody sells their own receiver, but these actually work independently as transmitters as well. And they do some transcription, some other stuff, but for like your campus tours, all of a sudden I can take one transmitter and a couple of receivers and do
mix and match
a mobile solution. So I thought that was really interesting. Like that was a way of using that same piece that once everybody has their own solutions, it's still going to be useful.
Do we have a time check? When are we going to see like the handheld stuff and like actually open up on phones and earbuds? Like, where are we at on this? Like we've been talking about
no one knows
here now.
No one knows.
It depends which manufacturer you're talking to. Me and Jamie had this
whoever's the closest
conversation a couple of places, and some manufacturers saying it's not ready yet, so we're not pushing it, and others are saying it's there right now and you can go use it. I tend to not believe.
Well, but Mark, your question is, I think, if I understood you correctly, your question is, when are we going to see that on the devices people already have in their own pockets?
Because that's what
they don't need another device to listen to that, which is the huge.
Because right now we're just swapping hardware, one player for another.
All of them,
right?
all of the people, we kind of asked that to see if there was like any engineering side, like are you hearing any scuttle? And all of them had the same answer. It was like, well, whenever Google and Apple decide to do it.
Yeah, like their stuff's ready. It's the other chip.
What if they don't?
Then it's all a bunch of hype for...
Yeah, nothing.
That world will suck. Okay, let's not go there. Let's pretend that they're coming in like 6 weeks. We're going to have them.
Yeah, okay. So we have the receivers that also work as transmitters. The other interesting piece that they have is they have this... It looks like a touch panel, but it's a BPass. It actually adds encryption to the transmission as well. So I've got some meetings on campus that any wireless audio transmission devices require encryption for those meetings.
You have to buy their touch panel.
So naturally,
you scan it in front of the thing. It's got
like a QR code, some other stuff. Like you connect to the stream through that. Otherwise, the Oracast transmissions do not appear on your device. So
it's like the PIN code on like your Apple TV thing. You got to like verify with your cell phone.
Sennheiser does something similar, but on their older system, but it's not Oracast. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I hadn't seen that in Oracast yet, and I knew I have certain applications on campus where that's a requirement. and I didn't want to have multiple solutions out there. So this was interesting that they have that as part of their offering. So again, you're not interested in it, but I went looking for Oracast.
No, well, I think we all are a little bit interested. I think there's a part of me that wants the Oracast story to be as good and as prolific as we want it to be. So I think anything in that
the potential is there, and that's what
important.
we want.
Yeah, I really want that horse to win this race, but right now, I'm like,
there.
I guess they're still trying to build the track to run on.
Yeah, the horse is not running yet.
It's like thinking about running.
Oh, okay. It'll be something that's unrelated. It'll be a concert environment. It will be driven by some other event system, and then all of a sudden, and it'll probably be like an Apple event thing where it's also, hey, now you can watch our brand new movie with your Googles and your
it'll be
goggles.
Some prize fight somewhere.
It's going to be something like that, or a silent disco where now it's cool, but
or someone will sue the pants off of Apple, and they'll eventually just release it. Because my understanding is the newest device. Yes, the newest devices over the last 2 years, Galaxy, Apple, Android, all that stuff. The chipsets apparently already support this. So it's a matter of unlocking it in firmware.
Yep.
But I'm sure there are, because it's another radio, it's another FCC sort of thing. So I'm sure there's all sorts of hurdles to get over, and it's the only reason they haven't done it is because they haven't crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's. I'm sure it's a very complex legal and engineering process, but that's what's going to determine the winner on this is when the devices that the students, I'm just thinking from my perspective, the devices the students already have in their pockets support this without needing another device, then that'll be the winner.
Yep.
Or that'll be the time it's a winner.
So now I have USB-C BYOD via this new AV over IP. I've outsourced my entire support desk to this LLM that Jamie's got me installed, and I'm going to do Oracast via this Better Ear widget that's going to get me all.
So you're buying everything already?
I'm buying everything.
I didn't sell you the LLM.
Oh, I want that. You're going to give it to me for free if I buy all this stuff.
This is a consultation. I think you should investigate this.
You need to upsell me on that because I'm really interested in having that be my support desk. I think we're really close.
Yeah, but yeah, sure. Like a true consultant, I didn't talk to the people. I just told you it existed.
It should work. It should work.
It should work.
Let me know
to make sure it works.
It's fine. It's
theory.
Just go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're close. You can see the new classroom environments coming into shape here. We got some ADA stuff in there. We got this new bring your own everything on USB, and the computer's going to tell you how to do it. Okay, what else? What else do I need to stitch this whole thing together? Justin, what do you got for me?
So how would you like the ability to sketch something out like a schematic or rack elevation and take a picture of it and upload it to your little pocket phone there, and it prints you out like a whole CAD file that you could present to someone? And then that same application, after you use those plugins, let's say you wanted to do kind of what Jamie was talking about. There's a lot of software pieces out there, replace your help desk. It could also do that. And it could also, let's say, if you wanted to upload all your CTSD and I information and PMP and AQAV certification information and the whole AV 9000 checklist for commissioning. And then you can create like a little mini mark in your pocket that knows all this stuff, and then bring it out and then tap something, and then the answer's right there. And then that same application, let's say you're wandering around in Kroger and you forgot what you were there for, and you end up with like 12 cases of Cayman Jack in your cart, and you're like, oh shit, what do I really need? That thing can help with that too.
Is it connected to my refrigerator at home?
And you can also connect it to your refrigerator to report what you are actually
you can only fit 11 cases. You can't do the whole 12.
And then you can upload all your projects and where they stand. And then at any point, any time, you wake up at 2 a.m. like, oh shit, run me a project report list. And it just goes brrr, and then it tells you all your to-do items. So you can start working at 3 a.m. Would that be of interest to you, Mark?
It sounds like you just did like a chat GPT, like connected software, because you got it's doing everything. Yes, I'm interested. Tell me more.
I'm selling you AI.
Yeah. Is this a thing?
It is a thing. I'm actually testing it. The only thing I haven't got working really well is
most of it.
No.
So let me recap here. So this
okay. Yep.
You started with line drawings and schematics.
Sure.
True. Okay.
Like napkin CAD to official CAD.
So napkin CAD, the pencil CAD, the real CAD. Then you had a cell phone piece brought into this a little bit.
Well, it's still a cell phone. You're still using the same tool.
Sounded like it's got like a fair amount of project management.
Yeah.
/ cloud connected widgetry wrangler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And list service of sorts / reminders.
It can PM your life.
I'm in. Let's go. It is who? What is this thing?
Yeah, what is this thing?
You subscribe to ChatGPT, and then you buy a bunch of other widgets and shit, and then you start inputting all of your data into it, and then you start framing it the way you talk, so this is all the stuff that I learned.
Yeah. Yeah, you were on the AI evangelism.
I was on the
tour.
AI tour to kind of say, hey,
and
I learned that going into it, I was pretty much right, but it opened up my eyes to a different way of thinking about what AI is out there.
Good.
So the
you feel
products on the shelf,
more intelligent
AI
about
camera,
it,
AI microphone, AI, it's kind of like BS, right? No, though true AI, which is what everybody was talking about, which is what we talked about on the Avixa TV thing, is how to use AI engines better. So it's there's tools out there. The only thing that I haven't got working perfectly, because what these applications really want you to do is, going back to the napkin CAD thing, it wants to create like 3D models of stuff for like 3D printers. So you have to it
wants to make 3D models.
Change
3-dimensional.
What it's really doing to do more 2D CAD stuff for AV. But it's got a lot of potential. PrintPal, Swap AI.
So what were your favorite AI agency tools that you felt worked well with GPT or other? Anything that was like this is the one. This tool is the one Mark needs specifically.
I'm in the middle of.
I'm always looking for an AI tool.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of PrintPal and CAD GPT, and it's getting
CAD
there.
GPT.
Yeah, it's a thing. CAD GPT. It speeds up the CAD workflows. It's like a CAD plugin. It's not
but Mark doesn't make drawings.
It's not by Autodesk, but I still have to. It's not like I can think it and the drawing happens. It's not there yet.
What?
I know.
I can think it and call you and make it happen. So, I mean, it's just as good.
Yeah. It's been 2 weeks. Like, has it actually saved you any time on your drawings?
It's saved on my drawings?
Yeah.
It's probably increased time right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is a curve.
But
Larry.
everything else...
2 weeks.
But
2
everything
weeks.
else, it's saved a lot of time. But I haven't worked on it for 2 weeks solid. I've been doing other shit. So it's...
Why?
I've spent probably...
This is your priority. That was your summer project.
I know. Yeah. I probably spent 2 hours on it so far, and I'm like, oh, shit, this is not exactly the way I wanted it to go, so I've got to, find time to dive in deeper. But I can...
this thing help me deploy my new endpoints that Jamie has sold me, my LLM that I've purchased when he upsells me on that, and the Auracast thing? Is it going to give me the ability to upload all those how-to documents and it spit out at least a configuration manual for me that I can then call Rexing and say, hey, I got to install 27 of these rooms that are built.
It actually helped me write an SOP for how one of my guys, very low technical expertise, how to just basically troubleshoot an AV over IP system. Do the very basic steps until you can call an engineer.
Reboot the switch, right?
Turn it off.
It's actually helping me train my staff differently. Well, besides reboot, it's a little deeper than reboot the damn switch. So I can train my staff differently to increase resources. And that's what we're going to do
that's the game.
My goal for my business is to never have a help desk and to have a fully facing AI help desk.
That keeps your customer costs low. You just don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
You're just doing your phone line.
Yeah. Well,
So you're going all in on AI and support and productivity and all that stuff.
Yes.
Agency is named.
I'm not really caring about the AI products anymore. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there were never going to be AI products.
They're not
service. Yeah.
Well, it's about the end result. It's about the product that you get out of these, not the product you're purchasing, buying, service, whatever it is. So.
But
because many of them, Justin, I think what you're finding, many of them have to be kind of customized, and they have to kind of learn your processes before they are really.
You have to really be patient with this shit. Like that's what I've learned is this stuff. Like don't think that you're going to start using any AI application and just type some shit in and get back what you want. It's not going to happen.
Oh, you can type some shit and get some shit back.
It's going to
ruining everything.
It
just needs to be smart.
It's taken some time. Like it took me a freaking week. Like I don't know why this stupid ChatGPT is doing this, but I'll upload a bill of materials and I'll say, okay, lock this in. We need to review it later. We got to create the scope of work. Scope of work's created pretty well. Got some edits and some changes. The bill of materials, relist the full bill of materials. Where's my speakers and my amps, dude? It's like, oh, my bad. Sorry, I forgot them. Like, what do you mean you forgot them? Like, put them back. And then you have to go back and review.
AI or OWL?
OWL did it. I mean, just we made a prompt that did a lot of this stuff.
That prompt is not no. That prompt is not. It's so what I found,
but
it's not
free
it's
versus
not,
whatever.
No,
anyway, here we are. Okay.
So the better way to do it is work with the prompt, but then create a formal Word document the way everything needs to look. Like this son of a bitch will forget to put dollar signs in my pricing. I'm like. You guys really need to get your act together. Whoever's in this doing whatever, we need to pick it up.
6 guys that are
we got to pick it up.
on here again.
It's not.
Whichever hacker is out there doing this needs to get better.
You guys need to shape up because leaving dollar signs off pricing is not acceptable. But it's just little things like you have to. Oh my God, you have to be so patient with it when you get your list of material.
Sales.
No, I
want to buy this. And he's like trying to talk me out of it.
It's the material list. Why is it? There's something I'm doing, I guess, when I'm building my material list. Like it'll F with me. It'll mess with me. It'll say, "Oh, we're just going to leave off this little QSIS license."
Why you
That's the
your
prompt
see if you catch it.
That's the
We're going to
prompt that
see
Mark
if you
put in
catch
there.
this.
Every
Justin.
so often, remove.
And so what I've done is relist the material list. But it better be over $46,000 and not a cent below that because it'll come back and list, oh yeah, here's your total price, 15 grand. I'm like, where is the half of my system?
You didn't need that.
I feel like your sequencing might be out on this a little bit.
Something. I'm working on it. It's but
so Justin, what you're saying is these show potential, but they're not ready for prime time.
They need.
Don't expect it to be prime time right away. It's getting. I've been working on it since InfoComm. Just the stupid bill material.
For like 2 hours.
Past 30 minutes. I've been just
on this one
away.
project for 2 hours on this one material list. But to just create a template and a standard way of showing things in the same manner every time. Just be consistent.
Would you
and it
know
has a
what
big
that
problem.
if you had that, would you know what success looks like if you had it in your hand?
Yeah, because
it
would match the last one that I've had, and it's not. Don't
just let it have that one.
I was like, go reference the
withholding
correct one.
AI.
And then it comes back. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, Justin. That's my fault. I'm like, well, no, I need to understand why you're leaving this off so I can fix you.
So now you're trying to diagnose.
You don't have audio in all your systems.
Yeah,
it's making
using your
You've seen those pictures.
It knows
you saw those pictures this week.
I
put those.
Can I interest you in this thing from Amazon?
What, a speaker? What do you mean? What?
That's your next bill of materials going to have.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my experience with all of that. But it is saving me time.
Mileage
There's
may
just
vary, as you're telling me.
a couple things that I'm deep diving into that are not really working out. But overall, it has saved me time.
So for those of you listening right now to either the live stream,
did I sell you on that?
Well, hold on.
Absolutely, let's go.
Let me sell you on something else.
I'm not sure what it was.
For those of you listening to the live stream or to the recording of this later, we are doing a presentation at the ETC conference in North Carolina at NC State in October on this very topic called AV design by AI. It's faster, cheaper, and possibly coming for your job. We're going to talk about these tools, the tools that are out there, what works, what doesn't, how to use them. We're going to go through all that, and we're going to do that live. We're going to have, we're going to just bring up the screen and demo it as we go through these. So these,
I'm right in the middle of all of it, right?
Yes. So this is something we're all exploring in different ways.
I think everybody's.
We are going to be presenting on this at the ETC conference in October. So join us at the conference, and we'll show you what we're doing on this. Because I use this stuff in my workflows.
Yeah, we'll update you on my struggles and what has been successful.
The takeaway I've heard here is that you don't necessarily have to go all in with one of like the big boy packages that have embedded AI. You can do a lot of this yourself and put this together.
Yeah.
As Justin is fumbling his way through and explaining, is that you can do this with like GPT and some other like off the shelf tools and train them accordingly and build some of your own agency in there and not have to buy the sticker shock full on thing now with AI.
Can you share his, like, once he gets this perfected?
It finally happened today. I finally got one project.
Once he kind of gets it down to reliable.
Yeah.
Can he share that? Like, can he share that model out? Can you?
Well, yeah, it's mine. I created it. I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah, but then you just, how do you share that? This is a whole thing. We're selling you products.
I want to see the document and the formatting and everything done and the completed thing, because then I'll just use it for mine.
Well, like what you're asking is, can other people
how do I use his thing?
Yeah.
I send it to you via email,
with the prompt. Give me with the prompt.
So I can have access to your entire.
Hold on, time out. Let's rewind.
Yeah,
the prompting.
I want
something I learned, Mark.
Yes.
Prompting is not always the answer, because what you want it to do, you want it to talk to you like a human. So it's better that you just type in the way you talk and the way you think. You prompt it at the beginning, and after that, you just go.
A good prompt will start the conversation.
But don't keep prompting, because I got in a prompt nightmare, and it was stupid. It became more stupid. Right?
So your language model, all of your data set that you put in here, that you painstakingly went through, that's what I want. I don't care about the final product. I want all my
projects.
I want to use your data set to create my own end product. Because you've already uploaded specs, you've already uploaded things, you've already uploaded this.
I could probably have them create a prompt for everything I've uploaded. Just use them to do the thing that you're asking for.
You can get it to export as down to a JSON file, which can be moved,
exactly,
and re-uploaded and redone. So
well, that sounds okay.
We could do that.
I think we need to dig into this someday. But
I'm all on. Justin, sign me up.
It's a struggle.
This is as a service monthly, right? Because I want to just make sure I'm paying the maximum amount I can get for this. I don't want to see any hardware. I just want to be paying.
Are you paying me?
Yeah, sure.
It's 7 pence per character.
I don't know what a pence is, but I'll take it. Is that crypto?
It could be.
I have no idea.
It could be. I'm paying in Bitcoin. Hope you guys take Bitcoin. So
just one.
All right. So I've got 2 items here, and they're related. There's like 2 versions of the same thing. And if you recall, before we went to InfoComm, I said I was looking for something that I was looking for. This exists. So I'm glad I did find this. I was looking for something that provides that easy connection for people at the conference table to get to their displays. And we've all talked about the different hubs, the docks, the adapters, the encoders, or whatever. I think I found one that I need to try it, because this was a brand new product, but it seems to tick all the boxes for providing the right connection. And most importantly, a lot of these spaces that I was looking for that are retrofitting are the old video conference ones, People Plus Content. So there's 2 like 65-inch displays at the end of the room. Yeah. And if you think about it, the vast majority of these systems, you plug in your HDMI cable or your USB-C cable, and you get the same image on both. And no. I guess that's kind of okay, but that seems kind of wasteful and not what people are looking for. Because you're
keeping codecs, though, right? You're not taking those out.
This is all based on Tandberg systems. So not even the new ones. You have to go find an old Tandberg one. But a lot of the rooms were designed based on that, and a lot of the integrators still build that because they still think that way, that you need the old school People Plus Content model, which is wrong. Please stop doing that.
I like it.
But a lot of the spaces that you've talked about recently, Mark, in the last, say, year and a half, are these kind of streamlined conference room type systems based on room systems of various flavors.
Yeah, rooms is.
So Liberty, of all people, who we know very well.
I know those guys.
Liberty makes 2 products that are like, it's kind of like 2 versions of the same thing. And it is called their, their Team Up series.
Yeah, the team up
And they
stuff.
make both a dual and a single display version. And they make a version that supports MST for USB-C, which means multi-stream transport. So again, if your device supports this,
You get that
plug
stuff.
in one cable, it gets you your charging, your audio, your video, your data, your USB, all that stuff, and exposes itself as two displays to your laptop, so you can then arrange. You want the same thing on both. You want different things in each. It's just like at your desk where you have two monitors, and you configure that however you want. They make a version that is one display only, and they make a version that simply has an internal DA and shows the same thing on both. They also have a version of this that has a local input so it's a transmitter receiver pair at the conference table and behind the displays. They make a version that's designed for a PC to live behind one of the displays. So it has a local input that picks it up and then can, so when you switch to the PC, you get extended display on the displays there, which is pretty slick. The other thing I really like about this, because we talk about trying to streamline away from traditional traditional control systems that add a lot of overhead and add a lot of complexity and a lot of troubleshooting. This does both commands via serial and CEC, and you're user selectable, and you get to set those triggers. It has a basic web interface. You log in, say, so on hot plug detect, turn on the displays. On hot plug disconnect, wait 60 seconds, turn off all the displays, that sort of thing. So again, very basic rudimentary control, but if you think about that sort of experience we've been talking about for the last year and a half.
Core you're looking for.
I want to walk in, I want to plug in my device, or I'm going to wake up the computer, and the room's going to do what I need it to do, and when I'm done, I just walk away, and it shuts off.
It is a cool little gadget.
Yeah, that stuff's cool. That stuff's clever.
I do have a question.
This is like that clever middleware stuff. It's not the big heavy device at the beginning of your system.
Yeah.
It's not the big flashy thing at the end. It's that widget town in the middle that solves a lot of problems. And I can see deploying, for all of our campuses, but everyone listening, probably 20, 30, 40 of these types of spaces
in those rooms kind of
right
scenarios. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those.
So,
but
question.
would Mark
Real world question.
Probably have.
Similar to what Chris just presented. So this is a real need. So all you listeners out there, if you know of something, I don't think it physically, I haven't done the math on it, so I don't think it can work. But
12.
I need a device like Chris just described, but I need 3 desktops out of that one cable.
No, you don't. You're doing
Why?
it wrong.
I've got this.
don't need that.
I do.
Yeah.
I've got this special application for this hospital that's what their requirement is. They want one cable and they want 3
interest
different.
you
stuff
in Air
between all
Media.
No, like 3 different extended desktops.
So they're going to bring in like their laptop, and they want
one cable, and then everything's extended across the wall on 3 98-inch TVs.
So I would ask.
It's a workflow thing. It's a whole thing.
I would ask you this question to ask them. I don't think they have this now. I don't think this exists. I don't think this is something they're coming from. Correct. But I'm saying they don't have what they're describing, and they've put it on you to go invent this.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, I'm crowdsourcing.
Is this like, give me USB-C and then a big giant canvas of like multi-out?
Yeah.
Isn't that just
I would be okay with
I don't know many-
stream processor?
I could do it with
that's kinda where I
2
was leaning.
USB-Cs. Obviously that would work.
I don't know many that goes into the third,
I can't find it anywhere.
especially at the resolution.
I think it's a math problem.
What if
I
you
think
just
it's a
got rid
pixel
of the
math
3
problem.
displays and just made it one giant display?
21 by 9.
Seriously,
But I
that's what was
can't.
thinking.
Or worse?
It doesn't. The room doesn't fit. It actually fits perfect with 398s,
21x9s.
like side by side, bezel to bezel.
It sounds to me like that's enough space for one.
I just don't want a video wall
that's just-
processor.
Wouldn't it just be a processor in front of that though? Like, would that?
I guess I just don't want that. I don't
Wait,
know.
no,
Justin,
nobody wants that, but
Justin, here's some good news. The DisplayPort spec, as far as multi-stream transport, supports up to 4 displays on that stream. Good luck finding hardware to do it. But
okay, get there. Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Sure.
you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm going to
Mark-
find it. I've got a long time. It's a big addition to a hospital, a whole floor. It's not for another year. So any manufacturers
health-
out there, you can at
health-
least sell one of these stupid boxes if you make it.
It's healthcare.
Guaranteed.
You can get the video wall. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
you can make it.
All right, Mark. So you have to pick
the
one.
alternative.
Gotta pick one.
Chris just stopped dead in his
Well,
tracks.
I was going to say, Justin, the alternative is you put a dock down there that does multiple displays.
Yeah,
and
it does,
transport like a normal human, and you still give them one cable. But
Whoa.
Like a normal human.
So, all right.
How about wireless connections? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, let's do it all wirelessly. It's fine.
Can we do a click share?
I have
How
not
many,
thought
how
about
many
that.
dongles do you want coming off of these things?
I'm sure that Mersive will sell you a license for this.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that.
It's just a low price of $100,000 a month.
You can have it all. If I had to pick one, where could I spend the most money and have nothing to show for it?
AI, obviously.
I got an idea.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Justin will just take that check.
You can get all your bill of materials missing line items. It's like, hey, guess which line item's missing this time?
Justin, that's an automated value engineering system.
Your invoice will say $1,
And you're
but it was
sitting there
missing
and you're
a
like
few
looking at it,
zeros.
you're like, this is looking good. This is looking good. And I'm like,
You took out the speakers.
God.
Order
Why
of
would you do
interest to me, I was most intrigued about the XP5 thing, the Liberty thing, just because I'm really fascinated by that product. Though,
Visionary one, you mean?
yeah, sorry, the Visionary XP1, because that USB, and what that represented as the potential disruptor that was, I really liked what I saw there. Though I do have a well-defined need for the solution that Chris had found in that team up series, and I always like that is a real thing.
Stupid Chris.
But that that NetSpeak thing is fascinating. I'm still going to stand in line for that, and as I wait there, I'll probably hope that I have like some kind of RCast device I have in my pocket so I can listen to the tour that's going on past me while I'm downloading all the LLM
Listen
shit
to this
that
guy.
Justin's trying to sell me.
It sounds like I'm a terrible salesperson. Mark's not using any of my
kind of
shit.
sell it down at the end.
Yeah,
In the beginning,
I had
was
a
interested.
truckload of money ready to buy it. Fill your swimming pool up with dollars like Scrooge McDuck style, and then you're like,
I was
"But
asking
don't
you if
take
I
it."
could
Yeah.
get your language model, and you wouldn't even sell it to me.
Yeah, I'll give it to you for free. I'm a terrible salesperson. I don't sell
Give it
anything.
away. All right, that's my order and ranking. So, sounded like you guys had a good time, and
Except for the food poisoning.
Three-quarters of us.
Yeah.
Chris struggled for a little bit there.
that's what I heard. I heard it on the morning show. I was creeping on you guys. It just wasn't there. And so, anyway, I'm glad you guys went there. I'm glad you saw some USB maturity and found out that AI is not in every box. It's not going to crawl out of a box as a sentient thing and take over the world.
There were a lot of AI, like Justin was describing, and like what Jamie was talking about, kind of like a lot of AI services that
Yes.
get,
Which is
that seem
where
to
AI
like
is.
get about like 40% of the way there, and then start to kind of like nebulously wander off.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, that's cool. Wait, what now? So,
It's like they tried to tie that package too tight. It's like, hey, we're going to use AI, but we're only going to use this much of it, and made it worse.
I'm proud you guys are talking about big data. Proud.
We tried
Oh, we attempted.
I'm creating big data,
over and over again, and people just looked at us.
and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Ooh, these knuckleheads. All right.
Like, who are you fools asking this question?
Cool. All right.
so yeah, that's why you should have been there. You could have gotten all this stuff too. So
I'm gonna probably
and
got
probably
sick
food
with
poisoning.
You. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure it was the one where Jamie said that sandwich was mushy and not good, and then I ate one anyway.
Sausage biscuit.
I had
It was
two
a
of those.
sausage
Yeah, that's what it
biscuit.
was.
No, yeah, I had a different
And I
one.
skipped it, and I ate the sandwich at lunch, and I'm like, hey, I'm fine. Look at Chris. And he's
I
like,
had the ham and cheese. You went for the sausage. That was your.
I had a ham and
Yeah,
cheese
yeah.
at lunch too, and that's it may have been that. I don't know. I'll take this one piece of lunch.
That's the one that looked a little sketchy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
it was fine for me. I didn't.
Let's run another brand new commercial here, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk about sustainability.
Oh, we got something else to talk about?
We're running long.
We are. Right.
Tired of chasing down those pesky Avixa CTS renewal units, CompTIA continuing ed credits, or PMI PDUs? What if I told you there's a better, totally legit, absolutely not questionable way? Independent Amalgamated is proud to introduce Cred Exchange, the underground marketplace that takes the pain out of certification upkeep. Buy, sell, and trade your hard-earned credits with professionals just as desperate, savvy, as you. Need bulk credits? Get huge discounts when you buy renewal units by the dozen. Even better, sign up friends, colleagues, and random strangers under your membership and you'll earn a tidy 10% of every credit they trade. Pyramid schemes? Nah, it's a pyramid of possibilities. Act now before your certification expires and your dignity follows suit. Cred Exchange, because your certification should never stand in the way of your career ambitions. This message is definitely not endorsed by any of the issuing agencies. Terms and conditions are shady at best.
I got a whole bunch of credits I'll sell you right now.
Yeah,
I need some.
No, I got so many extras. Can I give them out for free? Donate some credits?
Don't donate them. You want to sell them.
Sign up through the Cred Exchange.
Go to Cred Exchange, sign up, get people under your downline. You get 10% back.
Wait, that's a pyramid scheme, man.
No,
I have
It's not a pyramid scheme.
I have 65 renewal credits to give away every 3 years.
It's a tornado plan.
funnel plan.
It's funnel cake. All right, so, whoops, I got to do this one now, too. Just remember this.
Topic 2, it's short and sweet. 5 to 10 minutes and can be beat.
5 to 7 minutes. That's the old joke.
5 to 7. When have we ever done 5 to 7 minutes on anything?
Well, we're going to do this one short.
Okay.
So this one is this is a listener email, and I did not check with him to see he's okay being named, so I'll say this is from Sam, who wrote in and said, I was listening to your February 26th episode. You were discussing the Zoom announcement about obsolescence. If you recall, we covered this. Zoom announced a whole bunch of devices that were no longer going to be supported in an upcoming update.
32-bit stuff.
And I get why they're doing it. At a certain point, you have to cut things loose, whatnot. But hey, when we buy stuff for 5, 7, 8, 10 years or more.
15.
Or 15. Not for some of the devices on that list were like 2 or 3 years old. So not great. Anyway, so back to Sam's email. What I'm not hearing is any thoughts about the sustainability and environmental cost of this. This is a scary development from that perspective in the long term. At our university, we have the blessing in disguise of a room booking system that does not integrate with Outlook, making Teams or our Zoom rooms annoying to deal with administratively. It's always been my concern, as you guys discussed, that committing to these platforms makes you very vulnerable, not just to the software or hardware vendor, but to their commitment to continue working together. We did trial some early Crestron MTR systems, and it was painful in the extreme. Yeah, it was painful in the extreme to configure them and keep them running properly. The concept is great, but the execution remains flawed. It wouldn't be so bad if my MTR or Zoom appliance was a little black box. It was very cheap and easy to replace, knowing it kept all the peripherals intact. I'd love to hear you guys talk about what sustainability initiatives or standards you're being forced to deal with in your various institutions. So he raises a good point. If you go all in on Teams rooms, Zoom rooms, whatever, and the software vendor, Microsoft, Zoom, etc., let's say there's a falling out with Crestron, Extron, QSys, whoever it is, Link, Logitech, and suddenly there's like, hey, at a certain point, this box isn't going to work anymore. What does that mean for our we have a lot of physical hardware now. We have to basically throw out, e-waste, recycle, etc. But what's that do budget-wise? What's that do sustainability? And there's an environmental cost if you're just e-wasting all this crap, because very little of that stuff actually ever gets recycled. It ends up on boats. They drive it over to China. About halfway through, they dump it. Literally, look it up. Recycling is a shame.
You're in a reactive state of mind, like I am all the time on my campus. Everything's going to be reactive.
I'm not buying those things. But.
Well, that could be the proactive approach. But unfortunately, we had to buy whatever, and we just react. It's, Zoom sends out an email and says these things. Well, now we got to react to it. And then something else died. You have to react to it. There is no proactive.
I think we're in kind of a transitory piece of this, to be honest. I do think we will see more of these room-based scenarios and hardware aligned with that. I think we're just in that transition. We haven't seen the best of. And I don't know if we're going to see it tomorrow or it's going to be years out. But I think with that, I'm going to call it a promise, but the promise of that, it's simplified. Those systems are not going to be as complex as the things we're looking through the lens of now. You look through your giant mountain of switchers and all this other stuff, that's not what this will be. And I think there is some sweet spot where you do have a cadence that's more acceptable. So your install, support, and kind of you start running a more traditional IT cadence of hardware.
It has a 4-year warranty, so after 4 years it has to go.
Maybe. Well, but if it's more cost effective up front and it's not as much stuff there, and along with you can accept some of that piece of it. It's not perfect, and I think right now it's hard for us to see it because one, we haven't experienced the reliability, and I do share the person's pain with the crash on MTRs. I've done the same thing, and that yes, they're a bear to get to be stable, and it not only that, what it means to your organization, how you manage those are not managed by your off-the-shelf AV person. You have to be completely higher level Azure admin, all that stuff, and that there's just occupational identity hazards galore when we talk about that. And so I think as an industry, we're not where we need to be for this refresh cycle to actually be where it should be. Now, there's a lot we can do because we've done the power management and the kind of the sustainability piece from those things in the past. And I think we all should be working better with that. Like, what is our cost? What is our net metering thing? Where are we at? Where are all this? Where's the energy going? We should be more on top of those pieces and be better stewards of that because we need to be. And as things are power hungry, we should be monitoring those things. There should be conversations are all happening.
There needs to be some type of SLA from us to Microsoft saying, hey, we're not going to force a product out for 5 years. Because there's nothing stopping Microsoft or Zoom saying, buy this widget, and then in 6 months go, we made a mistake, so we're going to deprecate that now. There's nothing stopping. And you have 1,000 rooms. That's 1,000 widgets you throw away after 6 months. There is no stopping that.
I think there's also like the two sides of this is like when these things first started coming out, and I think where a lot of people are falling into this was that they bought the Nook. They bought the MTR solution from Crestron. Where when we started investigating these kind of things, they were like, no, you're going to use the same off-the-shelf Dell hardware, but we need the. But Mark, you ran into this. Like, I want the image. Like, I want to image it.
The immaculate image is hard to get.
So I think that some of the sustainability and some of the refresh cycles may be solved by Microsoft saying, okay, people are embracing this, or Zoom. So here's how you can have the image system and you guys can do these things. I also think what we're going to start seeing too as part of that Microsoft or Zoom or Google license is no longer a per device certification. Now the manufacturers may have to still put some sort of release key on their USB stream, whatever that is, but you're going to actually start paying for the like the Microsoft Teams audio license package to allow you to do other things so that we can plug in some of these devices and not have to throw away the soundbar. Well, if the soundbar registers as a regular audio device, well, that's great, but because it's not, quote, certified, you can buy into our certification, pre-approved certification pack. It's going to become monetized, right? Look, I'm with you, Justin. This is going to, he's shaking his head for those of you listening later. It's absolutely insane. But I think that at some point we're going to start seeing that the manufacturers themselves will start working with Microsoft themselves because this is just a money grab. Everybody knows it. And I think they're going to find a way around it. I think at some point manufacturers are going to get tired of paying the extra license fees and say, screw you, we're out. But Microsoft will say, fine, any old USB device will work as long as you have our license. So it'll be interesting, but I see kind of that transition too. I don't see a lot of people just buying the Zoom box, the Logitech Nook.
There's still a lot of that happening.
There's a lot out there. I think it depends on what vertical you're in. Certain industries use it a lot more than others.
And I think like the difference between what Jamie was saying was like all those USB devices. I think we can do that. We could buy the audio MTR license or whatever for that. But it's whenever we're dealing with a compute, which most of these devices are, that's where the security aspects come into it. It's not that they're saying, oh, we don't feel like supporting that anymore. It's that there's a vulnerability, though we're being proactive, we're taking this offline, and that's where the long-term...
MTR will change the whole way you look at like your computer in a way that's actually functioning and how your updates and things are managed there. it's a different animal, and it's really not an AV thing. It's really a data and kind of administrator thing. And I think that's where I say it's transitional. I think we're in this weird piece of it that it's going to play out over the next 5 years, and it's going to look much different when we get there than it is right now. I think we'll see more capacity on the edge, and because of that, we'll have smarter devices that are not the same stack that we're used to seeing.
I just don't want any more messages from Teams or Zoom saying, "Oh, well, we updated, and yeah, you're going to have to go around and update every camera, and that means that you have to take them off the wall and plug them into your laptop and update the firmware to make that happen." Because that happened to us.
You're going to get those. I mean,
like that's bullshit. That total cost of ownership is not worth it. That creates a reactive situation that you can't plan for. That's an emergency situation that just happens, and all your rooms are down.
But it's going to happen.
You're absolutely not wrong. And their model for that, Microsoft and Zoom, their model is work with your service provider to do that. Well, in our vertical, we are the service provider. And we got to do that. Get that same level of access or the same level of notification on these things. We still see it even from traditional AV manufacturers who are like, oh, we told all our dealers that on the 13th. Great.
Who cares?
Who cares what's actually happening now, guys? Oh, yeah, well.
It's a total like support and kind of as a service model that like as you're looking at your shops and how you operate, like how are you going to respond to that as the industry shifts more to that? Like, what does that mean to your people? What does that mean to like your identity, like your security identity? How are you managing?
I think
this is all different stuff.
The closest model that you can look at right now, into Sam's email, like what's this do for our sustainability initiatives? Look at how just general workstation PCs are purchased. They're purchased with a finite lifespan, even though we know that computer is good for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is. They're purchased with, no, it's good for 4 years because you bought the 4-year plan, or okay, for an extra $200 we extend that to the 5-year plan. But they know at that point it's not getting any more updates, it's not getting more support. You're pulling that and you are e-wasting it out, sending it to a crappy school district in the inner city. And that's the plan. So there really is no like model beyond that, and that's what they want you to do with your room systems, even to the point where like, okay, maybe your speakers and your TV still works, but everything else, pull it and get rid of it every 4 years. That's their model, and it's terrible.
My point is, if Microsoft knows that this certain camera needs a firmware update and they push the update and they have the solution and they send a message, why can't they figure out why that Teams computer, which is connected via USB to those cameras, which can upload firmware to those cameras from that computer, happen automagically?
Because Microsoft doesn't make any of the stuff.
I don't care.
They don't.
That's their problem to not partner with the manufacturers that you can't have the finger point. It's a solution.
Look,
bullshit. You can't have the finger pointing. They need to work that out.
It's a one-way relationship, man. The manufacturers gave them money, therefore it's over.
That's on Microsoft and Zoom. They need to figure that out. That's not on the manufacturers.
I'm sure they'll get right on it. You're not wrong, Jason, but we know that's not going to happen.
But I think going back to like the spirit of
download ChatGPT, step one.
Understanding kind of like your capabilities and what you're delivering. What does that cost? What does it really mean? Like it's not the stuff,
money, but time.
Like everything.
Time is important too.
Yes, you may identify yourself as I'm putting these things and these widgets and these Rube Goldberg things out there to create this capacity, but what is that? What is that service that you're actually doing? And understanding that, okay, where can you save? What does it mean? How are you projecting and all that? I think when you start thinking that's what we've been all talking about. How are we making these more informed decisions? Are our systems smart enough to give us the data so we understand where they are and all that piece? And I think these room type scenarios, they do lend themselves really well because when you do get them right, they're all connected and some of that data becomes a little more easy to mine. And I think everybody should be the better steward. I think overall, like what happens downstream when I'm done with this? Where does it go? Do we have a plan for that? And if maybe you have to be the one that starts it, start putting a plan together. At least think about it.
Crappy inner city school district,
whatever it may be. At least think about it. Put it together. Put some words around it.
And it's not even the products. What if they do an update and change the whole UI and you don't know about it, and now you get support calls like that? There's not just about the products. It's about uncontrolled change.
There will be more
you saw that with related to Microsoft, they're sending out their list of like the following types of PCs are no longer supported in Windows 11. It worked fine yesterday in Windows 10, but now if I roll it to Windows 11, it doesn't work, and that's forced obsolescence because your computer's more than 5 years old. Get a new one. Nothing wrong with it. Why can't I keep it? So,
right. I mean,
it's a different mindset.
It is. It's a whole different animal, but I think it's not going to change. It's going to probably get worse.
It's going to get worse. Is what's going to happen. Yes.
Yeah, and so, but at least you can.
The days of buying a system and knowing you have it for 7 to 10 years is pretty much
Those days
over.
are coming to an end.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
You got 15-year-old classrooms running on VGA over there.
Oh.
Man. Come on now.
Oh, we're going to keep everything off the network here.
5
It'll
lines
run
everywhere.
forever.
All right. Put it all on the network.
So I guess I'm thinking, though, if there's somebody out there listening right now who is kind of already moved to that model and treats all your deployed commercial AV systems, conference rooms, meeting rooms, huddle spaces, cuddle spaces, classrooms, et cetera, like you do a computer, and you just wholesale throw that stuff away every 5 years, reach out. Let us know. How's that been working? So.
Yeah.
And I don't mean those who simply have recurring funding to put in all new, very complex stack of traditional AV stuff every 5 years.
Somebody who's like measured out. This is kind of what we need to do. Here's how we do it. And here's how we measure that.
If you've got
get the most
more than
bang
like
out of it.
50 like Yealink or Logitech MTRs deployed, reach out because we want to talk to you.
Oh,
Cool.
In the meantime,
In the meantime, we're doing other stuff, or you want
That
to?
was more than 10 minutes.
It was 5 to 7.
5 to 7. How close were
Guaranteed
we?
that was 5 to 7 minutes.
Can't be beat. I'll run it again. So
We'll sit here and go through it. Anyway.
We'll
all right.
play the jingle again. We'll all listen to it.
We'll listen to it one more time.
You guys hate it. So.
Well,
We'll be back next week with some more nonsense. Wait, hold on. Wait, next week is
Nope.
the 4th of July.
after that,
See you guys
Okay,
in 2
we're
weeks.
not doing the show next Friday.
no. But we may do
Do a
something.
show in 2 weeks.
Good to be back, guys.
Go.
yep.
But on July 1st, listen to our 4th of July special.
Oh, that's right.
Great. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.